Hello, this is Mind Matrix again, and we are here speaking with someone that wants to be anonymous. And this is going to be one of many hauntings in Oregon. So these are ghost stories that you have never heard before on YouTube. And so she will begin. So, back when I was a teenager, I was lucky enough to get to go live with my friend's family for about a year. They had looser rules than I did at home, and so I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So, luckily, I was able to talk my folks into letting me go. And over the course of time, I noticed that the house was haunted. My friend did too. And my friend, um, I'd like to call her Hannah. Um, so my friend and I both noticed that we were hearing talking and moving around upstairs in this one room upstairs that was no one was using it. It was being used for storage. There wasn't even somewhere to walk around. It was really full of boxes and stuff. Um, and that was the bulk of the noises that we heard things coming from. We would it seemed like usually a lot of times when it was just her and I, we would hear things, and we would always be drawn to go listen to it. And then all of a sudden, things started happening when other people were home. Um, and one incident, I remember her and I were sitting watching one of our favorite movies. So we were really into the movie, watching it. And all of a sudden, we could hear a man and a woman talking upstairs. Now, we were the only ones at home. And she lived out in the country, so it wasn't like there were people walking by on the sidewalk or anything like that. This was way out in the country, and there wasn't anybody out there. So we stopped and we looked at each other and we kind of nudged each other and we started walking over to the vent so we could hear better. And we moved closer and we could clearly hear a man and a woman talking, full on conversation. We couldn't make out exactly everything that they were saying, but you could hear full on conversation. And the odd thing was every once in a while, you could hear the sound of glasses clinking. And another time, um, uh, her mom had made dinner and called everyone to the table. And we all got to the table and started eating dinner and talking about our day. And um, all of a sudden, you could hear somebody moving around um, in the room above us. And it actually sounded like furniture was being scooted across the floor. Her father then looked at her and my friend and said, who do you have upstairs? And she said, that's the thing. There's nobody up there. And he kind of looked at us like he didn't believe us. And I agreed. And I said, that's true. There's no one up there. And that was the end of that. They weren't ones to believe in ghosts or anything like that. So that kind of talk kind of got shut down. And then another night, uh, we were we had invited a couple of our guy friends over, and we were in one of the game room is what they called it, and they had an old Nintendo in there, and we would play Nintendo games and bring friends in there and play. And we were sitting there playing Castlevania on the old Nintendo, and we were all taking turns, and we were seeing how far we could get and making a fun night of it. Her folks were asleep, and their bedroom was located at the other end of the house. They were fast asleep. And we were hearing walking around. And so I just assumed it was my friend Hannah. She kept getting up to get something to drink or, get something and come back into the room. And at one point, she said, Did you guys hear that? She went to go make a cup of tea or something. She said, Did you guys hear that? I could hear there was someone walking around upstairs. I could hear it. And we all looked at her. She was a jokester. She was always playing pranks. And we all looked at each other and we all said, "Yeah, right, that was you." And we didn't give it too any much thought. She kept saying, "No, it wasn't me." And we thought, "Yeah, right, it was you. It happened the same time that you were out of the room." So we went back to playing the game, and then we're engulfed in the game, and we're all sitting there now playing the game. And all of a sudden, we could hear someone walking upstairs right above our heads. We all turned to each other and she said, "See, I told you. I told you I heard that." And then we all looked at each other and we went, "Oh my God, yeah, there's no denying it." We went up there, nobody was there. Her folks were still fast asleep in their bed. And then there was another night. It was a cold winter night. I was sleeping in that game room. And I had just laid down to try to go to sleep. And all of a sudden, right above me, I could hear the clear, distinct sound. It sounded like someone wearing logging boots. And if you know a logger, have one in your family, there's no mistaking that sound of loggers' boots walking on the floor. There's nothing that sounds like it. And I could hear it walking across the floor up right above me, and that would have been that room that all the boxes and stuff were in. You couldn't even walk across there. So even if somebody had gone up there, there was no way of making that sound. And it walked slowly across the floor. And as it did, it walked slowly across the floor. And then right when it got to right above where the door was in the room that I was in, just below, the door to the room that I was in creaked open. And that's that was the scariest thing. But those are my stories that happened there that I can remember. And just wanted to share that with you guys.
So that is our first segment of Hauntings in Oregon. And I will have some more short stories coming up very soon. So please like, subscribe, share, and hopefully you have a happy Halloween.